What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today is actually like a league racing practice race. I decided, since the league race for Russia is coming up this weekend, and given the recent string of kind of average results I've had, I wanted to do like a little bit more preparation, a little bit more practice, and that's what I'm doing today. So qualifying in a 50% race, so pretty much exactly the same format that you'll see in my league racing videos, except there's about 5 or 6 of us, all from the same league. And we're just going out there to find some of our pace. So just bear in mind my pace in the qualifying section is not going to be too amazing. This is me just trying to build my pace and see what I can work from going into this weekend's race on Sunday night. So yeah, I just loaded a setup, a time trial setup, actually New Zealand Ryan setup. And he said it was okay, it was good for qualifying, but actually not too good for the race. But I actually felt like it was on the contrary. I felt like it was better in the race, but maybe that was me not getting used to the game. But yeah, I basically just took this session as just a feeler, just to gather where my pace is, and maybe even show you guys, to show where my strengths are, where my weaknesses are, maybe where I can improve and build upon for this weekend's race. So qualifying, my first lap was wasn't great. I think it was like a 34.8. It was mainly just getting a time in. The corner cutting around this place here in Russia, it is so easy to get done for corner cutting, and even right there you can see I just misread where the apex of the corner was. There's a bit of glare on that part of the corner, and I turned in way too early, got a corner cutting warning, and it actually disallowed this next lap, which I didn't really understand because I cut the corner in sector 1, but my next lap after that was being disallowed as well. So that's something I'll need to watch out for in this weekend's race. But I decided to press on with the lap anyway, just to see what I could do. And so far, we're looking pretty good. Almost 5 tenths up as we go through the first sector split now. Purple to New Zealand Ryan's 34.0. Just up by 1/100th of a second. So very evenly matched so far as we head through the first sector. Ran out a little bit wide there in 5th gear. As well, like with some of the driving choices I'm making as well, some of those are still up for debate, whether I want to be running 4th gear through particular corners, 5th gear through those really mid to high speed corners. These are all decisions I'll need to make come Sunday night. And as well, going through the 3rd sector here, I think for the most part I opt to go in 4th gear, but I'm not too sure whether I should go in 3rd. I've heard it is faster, but it's harder on the tyres, so bit of a delicate balance to consider heading into this race. But meanwhile, going through the 3rd sector now, still being a really clean lap. I haven't actually corner cut or track extended yet, so technically this lap is still legal. It's just a shame that I got the corner cutting warning on my out lap, which really put an end to things. But through the final corner, we go purple. It is a 33.919, and like I said, if that lap would have been allowed, it was actually clean. It would have got me in front of my teammate New Zealand Ryan by just under a tenth. So yeah, really happy with that pace. Pretty surprising considering I haven't been doing as much practice as the other guys. Those guys do like 2 or 3 actual league races, separate leagues to what I'm doing over the course of the week. And so if any time I can match their pace or even be faster than them, then that's a really good effort. But away we go for this race now. I'm going to be trying to get to the front if I can. Like I said, I want to have a battle with New Zealand Ryan if I can. So we'll see what we can do. Up the inside of Quicksilver and AOR Charlie's, we head into turn 1. Ryan goes in deep, and I went even deeper than what he did. And thankfully, we just managed to get through there cleanly without any corner cutting warnings, which was probably the biggest thing to take out of that first couple of corners there. But we survive. Round the outside of New Zealand Ryan. Have to leave him space on the inside, and he takes the position back. We've got iFens as well on our inside, who I'm not too sure if you guys know, he's pretty laggy when it comes to the actual league races on the day. His internet isn't the best, but in this lobby it actually wasn't too bad as we basically hang ourselves out to dry there. I wanted to try and hold around the outside there, but I knew that was a losing battle, and we settle in behind in 4th place. So yeah, for this race, strict corner cutting rules are on, all the assists are off apart from like driving line. Some people in the league use driving line, don't know why. But yeah, apart from that, we have damage off though, because racing with these guys, I was possibly anticipating a little bit of lag. That was a misjudgment on my part, getting my first corner cutting warning of the race. Yeah, so I just wanted to, have a clean race and have a genuine understanding of how the race is going to go without getting the interruption of damage or losing a front wing or anything like that. So I can truly know where I stand for the Grand Prix. But anyway, lap 3, we actually went purple there. All the guys in front of us are squabbling quite hard. I believe New Zealand Ryan has only just got to the lead now. He goes round the outside through the first couple of corners, and I think they both actually cut there. Fens gets the best run out of anyone, and now he's having a look in the middle of both of those guys through the fast left-hander. He leaves the door open, and we go round the outside through the second part, and it is a third place as we overtake Quicksilver. So a bit of a cluster here. Not really productive for anyone, but this might be the case of this this race. It might be exactly like this, or even worse, come Sunday. So yeah, at this stage I was just going for it. I was just pushing, and you can see there we try and get around the outside of Fens there, but he lags back up the road. So that was really frustrating to get held up by him and then have him kind of lag back. And again, it looks like he's falling back into our clutches. I'm not too sure if that's actually where his car is positioned on the racetrack. It's always so hard to tell with him because his internet, like I said, desynchronizes a little bit and he's lagging all over the place. I go to the outside, he lags back a little bit, and that just kills all of our momentum running into turn 2. But we managed to get up the inside anyway. We cleared him. I was pretty happy about that. Now we can get on with our race and chase after New Zealand Ryan, our teammate, who I'm guessing is running the same setup as us. So this will be a really good comparison to see what my pace is like, what my consistency is like, and we'll just take the race from there. We go purple there, 37.7. I think it's a decent time on the Ultras at the start of the race with heavy fuel. I am pushing, and I'll probably be pushing a little bit harder than what I will be on Sunday because I want to find the limits of what I can get away with corner cutting wise, track limits wise. All these things you kind of need to know because come Sunday I don't want to be making these mistakes. I don't want to be getting these penalties. Most likely we're going to see people getting 6, 9, 12, maybe even 15 seconds worth of penalties. It is so hard to avoid corner cutting, and that's why I just want to get a feel for it, see what I can get away with, and then when it comes to the race, tone it back a little bit depending on where we are on the racetrack position-wise. But New Zealand Ryan weaving all over the place. I think he was trying to slow up and let me go there. I went to the outside, and that was just a little bit messy from both of us. Bit of miscommunication there, but no damage is on, so I mean it's fine. We can race a little bit harder than what we normally would in a league racing scenario, but we get him anyway into first place, and now we'll pull away. Hopefully, I say pull away, we probably won't, but I'll do my best to set the pace now and see if New Zealand Ryan can stay with me. I feel like traditionally when I battle with Ryan, I feel like I look after my tyres a little bit better, and as the stint wears on, I feel like I get a little bit more pacey as the race goes on. Yeah, like I said, I just feel like he's harder on his tyres, and so we'll be able to utilise that into the race strategy, into how we go about beating him in this race. But on that previous straight, I think I was pulling away, and I think he made a mistake, and I just decided to stick it in lean. I wanted to battle him just to get a feeler of where we can overtake, where we can battle and all that kind of thing, and then I think we'll go from there. I think this is the last time, or not like the only time I think I let him go through. From here we just go flat out and see who comes out on top. But in terms of the race strategy, one stop, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but you go from the Ultras to the Supers, and we'll be doing that in about 2 or 3 laps time. So I think it's going to be important come Sunday to be the first to do the undercut, because it is worth quite a bit. By the time you get to the end of your ultra soft stint, they really start to go off, and myself and especially Ryan are already sliding quite a bit. I have been using lean revs a little bit through the slow speed traction zones, and it has been helping in looking after my tyres, but still that's about the only thing you can do. On the previous lap I actually got a corner cutting penalty at the exit of turn 2. That's probably the spot on the track that I'm probably going to make the most mistakes. It's just so hard to thread the car in through there. Ryan is getting way out sideways through this third sector, so his tyres are really starting to go off the cliff. He dives into the pits, and he'll be going for the undercut in this race. So that leaves us to do the extra lap, and we'll just pretty much do a qualifying lap. Rich revs pretty much everywhere, and we'll see if we can rejoin in front or even close to him come the end of our pit stop. But yeah, like I was saying, it's really hard to thread the needle through turns 2 and 3, that first little chicane. Like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't if you push through there, because you can make up a lot of time, but you can also get done for corner cutting on the way in or track extending on the way out. So for me, really troublesome corner. I've heard other people in the league talking about, corners in the middle sector. Really, they don't bother me. It's that first chicane that is really going to prove troublesome for me. But the pit stop went pretty smoothly. I saw the gap back to the other guys, and I saw where they were on the track as I was getting my pit stop. And I thought, I'm going to rejoin in the lead by a long way, but I didn't really realize how much of a transitional time there was in the pits. It's a lot greater than other circuits, and in the end we rejoined 4 seconds, just under 5 seconds behind Ryan. So we got a bit of work to do. Quicksilver has also undercut us as well, so he's another guy we'll have to negotiate if we want to win this race, so to speak. So from here on in lap 13, I decided just to push on as best I could. I'm just going to see what the pace is like, see if I can get like in the 36s. But we have iFens, who has rejoined right behind us as well and is looking really threatening. He actually just made a mistake in that third sector a few corners ago. That relieved the pressure, and I was allowed to press on and not worry about being overtaken. So yeah, I was just trying to get as close to a 37.0 or maybe even in the 36s as what I could, because I heard some guys were doing 37s as their fastest lap of the race. So I was doing my best to match that, given the very little race practice I've done. But so far it's going pretty well. I think this might be my fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Ryan sets a 36.7, which is his personal best in the race. And I set a 36.9, which I was pretty happy about, considering I was just running into the dirty air of Quicksilver. I will definitely take that. But now, going purple through the first sector, up by over a tenth there. That is absolutely massive. There were so many points over the course of the day where I was going purple in the first sector, and I don't even know why, because I didn't feel like I was pushing on some of those laps. We got our second 3-second penalty of the day, so that's 6 seconds worth of penalties already. But I wasn't really worried about the penalties, like I said. Was pushing the limits to see what I could get away with, but up the inside we go of Quicksilver. He locks up massively going into the third sector, and we let him have the corner. We go slow in, a little bit fast out, and could have maybe had a little look up there in the inside, but it's not really an overtaking zone. Better just let him have the corner, continue on, and then just punch it off these final 2 corners here. Taking a little bit of curve there on the entry to the penultimate corner. I feel like there's a little bit of time to be gained there, so long as you don't lock up, and you can also get a little pocket of clean air when you're caught in the car behind. But we go around the outside into turn 2. Quicksilver defends to the inside. We leave him plenty of space on the right hand side, and we move into P2. So there we go. The gap to Ryan, I think, is 3 seconds-ish, and we've got the next 11 laps to try and close him in with 1 lap fresher tyres. It's going to be an awfully big task. We're going to have to press on really, really hard, and that's what I was doing. Looking after the tyres from the third sector and then running rich on the straights pretty much everywhere else. You can see 3.1 seconds to Ryan. We're going purple again through the first sector, and now just watch the gap, watch the lap times. I was consistently in the low 37s, which I was really proud about, and then the gap just diminished so quickly. I don't know if Ryan made a huge mistake or if he let me through. He just let me catch up. It was probably a bit of both, which I don't know, I won't complain about. But now we're making a move for the lead here. It says he's on ultra soft tyres there on the screen when you actually see his car, but on the graphic there he says he's on the super soft tyres, which is a little bit weird, not gonna lie. But anyway, lap 20, we've now taken the lead once again. 7 laps to go. And from here on in, I'm going to be pretty much pushing flat out to make sure I hold on to the lead. So if Ryan wants to catch me or stay with me, he's going to have to pretty much go flat out as well. So this will probably be a bit of a rehearsal for what happens at the end of the race if I am in the battle with Ryan. But yeah, I'm really excited to actually just have a battle at the front and actually feel comfortable and confident in my pace. So far this season, I just haven't felt that quick. And definitely at Russia, I feel so much more confident than what I have so far, and it's just allowed me to really push on and drive actually pretty well for once. But Ryan goes up our inside a couple of times in this lap so far. A little bit of a touch through the middle sector. Apologies, I didn't mean to run in that close, and if damage was on, I probably would have chipped off a bit of my front wing, so that's definitely something I want to avoid. To the left-hand side now we go. Ryan has the inside, very pinched on the inside there. Actually pinched his left front tyre with a massive lockup. So again, his tyres will be degrading quite heavily. They are a lap older, but given Russia, low tyre wear circuit, the difference in pace won't be that great. in theory. So long as Ryan's looked after his tyres, he should be in pretty good shape to push on for the rest of this race. I will say though, these super soft tyres really didn't feel at all too bad. Even running into the dying laps of this race, I feel like I could still push on with them. It's just the overall lap time wasn't there. I think probably the area where we were losing time the most was probably the middle sector. Just the tyres couldn't go as fast through there as what they could when they were fresh. But again, we're just putting on pressure with Ryan. I've been running deep into that third sector bit a couple of times, and that just delayed my progress a little bit, and had to, you know, build up my pace, you know, get the pressure going again and just get close to him. And again, that's probably going to take me a little while to do. So it may not be until lap 24, maybe even until lap 25 before we can actually mount another really big challenge. But yeah, at this stage you can see we're up by 0.2 laps worth of fuel. Not really too much you can work with there. That's maybe probably a lap's worth of rich fuel running on the straights and a bit of standard. So we'll still need to save a little bit more. Again, we're running really deep to that corner, and I just need to eliminate that mistake from my driving, because that's really going to cost me a shot at winning this race. Again, a corner cutting penalty at that first chicane. So again, all these little mistakes that are creeping in, I'll learn from this and I'll hopefully apply that to the actual Grand Prix. But after that, I got my head down. I managed to clean up my driving a little bit. We're now using a little bit more fuel as well, not really running lean revs as much because it's the last few laps. There's no real point in saving the tyres. You're basically going to use whatever performance you have left now for one big push to try and get the lead back. And I'm going to try. I may not win the race overall, but if I can finish in front and be the first to cross the line, then I guess there's a little bit of pride to be taken there. But Ryan ran a little bit wide through that right-hander, and now he looks like he's under a little bit of pressure. So if we can set this up nicely here, final corner, turn in nice and early. It was a nice exit, and now we're really close, and closest we've ever been for the last 5 or 6 laps. And now we'll have a go. Rich Rev, Slipstream, DRS. Which line is he going to take into turn 2? He wants the outside, so we'll take the inside, and we'll try and go as late as we can. We can't brake as late on the inside, but we will have the track position, and Ryan will probably have the switchback, possibly heading into the first sector split. But we have the inside, fastest way around that corner, and we managed to put a little bit of a gap between the two of us. So last 3 laps now. Like I said, just absolutely pushing on as much as I can. It's just going to be about no mistakes, getting nice exits off of the final corner, and just any of the corners that lead onto straights. So long as you can do that, it's going to be pretty hard for the car behind to overtake unless they have lower downforce. So I was just making sure that I just pushed on, and I actually wasn't nervous. It was a practice race. It didn't really mean too much, but I was still pushing on just to make sure that I got home to the end, because like I said, this is a rehearsal for what might happen. I say might. I have to qualify well if I want to put myself in this position. But last lap now, like I said, I was just pushing on really hard now, and I might actually see if I can set a personal best, even if the tyres are pretty shot. But I was using whatever fuel I had left, whatever tyres I had left as well. We actually are going purple to the first sector split, but I think that's pretty much where it ends, because like I said, the tyres are not as good in the middle sector versus where they were at the start of the race. But I was just using every inch of the track anyway to just try and pull away from Ryan. It looks like he's about 5 or 6 seconds, 5 or 6 tenths back, and as you guys probably know, that's a little bit too far behind to make a move. But again, we go really deep into that right-hander. I wasn't feeling any pressure. I was just pushing on, and that was just an unforced error, and it allows Ryan to go up the inside into the third to last corner. Had to leave him the space there. We have the inside for the next right-hander, and heading into the final 2 corners, Ryan is right on my gearbox. So using all the road on entry, try and get a nice square exit onto the final 2 corners, and that is the Russian Grand Prix. First place on track across the line, but with the count back on penalties, we end up in second. I think Ryan had 9 seconds worth of penalties, and I had 12 seconds worth of penalties. But in the end, the result doesn't really matter. It was about just finding my pace and just see what it would be like to run at that kind of pace and intensity. Because yeah, these things I'll need to know heading into Sunday's race. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. I really should do more practice races like this, because they are a lot of fun. You can have some really good battles in the process, and hell, this was even YouTube worthy, so I thought it was probably worth uploading a video on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and see plenty more F1 2017 videos. Hopefully we can expect more of the same from Sunday's race, and it could possibly even be more intense with more drivers in the mix. So yeah, really confidence inspiring to know that I can run with the leaders after, you know, a little bit of limited practice, but the pace is there, so that's the main thing. And let's just hopefully have a clean qualifying, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you so much for watching. Until Sunday's race, or until career mode, probably tomorrow, I'll see you next time.